Holloraderitulio, hollodaro, hollodarattolio wassoxtendo. Hello and welcome to another Solana tutorial. I don't actually know if this is gonna be much of a tutorial today, but we're gonna talk about something. What are we gonna talk about, Andy? We're gonna talk about the new Solana Dapp Scaffold. Remember that one time when I made a video about the Solana Dapp Scaffold? You know, that front end thing where you basically have everything there already and can just plug in your stuff? I did make a video on that. And today we're gonna have a look at its successor and we see if that got any better and if it's like useful, what it's useful for. If I remember correctly, they tried to integrate it better with like Anchor so that you have everything in one place and you have the program and the front end. So we'll just have a look at that. And really, this is just a feedback session for Nick and B-Man because they're developing this, and if I can give them valuable feedback on how to improve it, then I'm happy to do that. So here you go. This is a video just for you. And also everybody else who wants to find out what that new scaffold is about. So yeah, this is just my review on that NPX Solana Dapp thingy thing. Let's get started. I'm motivated. Let's see how motivated I stay, because depending on how my mood changes, you can tell what I actually think of the thing. Because it's easy to say stuff, oh yeah, that's so good, they did such a good job. But really, you need to see it in my emotions that they did a good job. Because right now I'm pretty like hyped and like, this is gonna be great. And if my mood goes to, fuck, what, then you know that it's not any good, even though I might say, oh, that's really well implemented. Yeah, that's really well implemented. If it's really well implemented, I'm gonna be like, whoo, that's really well implemented. Anyhow, let's see how well implemented it is. Let's get it out. We're gonna move down here and then we're gonna create. I don't like how this looks. Can I just... We're doing something completely different, but we're gonna learn how to change the bash script. Base name. So I just want the base name. Ah, there we go. That's better. Okay, good. Just the base name. Okay, so we spent the first how many minutes on removing all the unnecessary part in my prompt, such that we have a clear, simple thing here in front. And now to the interesting part. The thing that we're looking at today is npx create Solana Dapp in next. So it's a next app, or the next is the identifier of the newest version. I'm not sure, but that's what they told me I should use, so that's what we're using. Create Solana Dapp. We need to install that. Yes, okay. We totally trust this package, right? What could possibly go wrong? And a project name. Oh, that's nice. What are we actually gonna do? My genius project. What are we building? Project. We're gonna do next. We're gonna use Tailwind. Why not? Oh, look, here I have an anchor template. I could do a counter, I could do a hello world, or no template at all. The classic counter. We love our counter programs, don't we? Okay, and now it's creating a new workspace with npm. We have a my project here, and it has all the things that we might expect from an npm project, which is the package JSON. And not much else yet. We'll get there, don't worry. There's a pink spinny thing, so I'm trusting that that's doing something. Successfully created. Look, we have more stuff. Oh, anchor stuff is coming. Nice. Now installing the preset Solana developer. So it's definitely doing more than the scaffold I'm used to, like that I used to use. Yeah, we got some web stuff. So that's the web app part of it. And then there's the anchor part of it with a counter example. Let that finish installing here. New minor version of npm available. Yeah, whatever. And so what? Run cd my project to get started. You're telling me I need to change directory into my project. Thank you. And look, it just changes it here. It's still neat and small here, so that you have more space to see stuff. Cool. I mean, yes, in the my project, we now find the anchor and the web stuff. a license even, a README. Project is generated with create-solana-dapp. Anchor CLI 029, Solana CLI 117, and Rust in version 170. Okay, a nice git ignore. So, what do we look at first? The web part, because that's what we're used to. UI layout. Implement me. I've got account counter clusters as paths. Does it iterate over those? Yes, and there it maps them to add links. Oh, this is nicely implemented. Yeah, so I just need to add them here with the label and the path, and it adds them in here, because I used to copy, you know, this part and then do it for this, do it for that. No, but now I just need to have it here. Okay, cool. But you know what, such that we get an impression of what this actually is. Let's run this. npm I maybe first. Warnings are okay. Errors are not good. Well, warnings are also not good, but like errors are bad. 3 vulnerabilities. Whatever, right? npm run dev. Cool, that seems to do something. So we just go to localhost and see what we find there. Load. Ding, ding, ding. Oh, GM! Say hi to your new Solana Dapp. Hi! Here are some useful links to get started. Solana Docs, Solana Faucet, Solana Cookbook, Solana Stack Overflow. Yeah. Somebody keeps ignoring that part. And the Solana developers GitHub. So all links that are helpful. And this one, that's the GitHub where we actually find this. So we could also, you know, go here. That's the part that lets us create this. Oh, that's why it asked me for the project name, because I didn't provide it. And the cool thing is it provides different frameworks, and we can even create it with a native program, but Anchor is a nice default. So yeah, pretty cool stuff. This is being developed on, and I like it. Yeah, I mean, a month ago, although this is probably just the public one, they are working on this. This is probably just on main. The next, this is the one that we checked out, right? That branch we checked out. Okay, that we're actively working on. Nick committed something here yesterday. So yeah, this is in active development. So knowing that, obviously what we have here might change. Let me rephrase that. What we have here will change, most likely. What I'm showing you will not be the exact thing that you get, because obviously they're also going to work in my feedback, and then they will fix all the issues I have with it, right? Nick and B-Man, you're gonna totally fix that. I bet you will. Yeah, okay, cool. Back to the actual page. It looks clean, not as in your face as the first one with the here, have some DevNet-sol on the homepage. Very nice and clean and like subtle. I like it. And then we have those 3 pages, account counter cluster, and for all of the, clusters means we can select where we want to work, local testnet, but mainnet is not supported. Okay, we can edit and add our endpoint here. We could put our, you know, whatever, our RPC provider could use this one, for instance, and boom, we have a mainnet. Yeah, but they probably don't put that in there as default because they don't want the public endpoint as the default thing for your app, because you shouldn't do that. If you have an app, use your custom RPC with a proper RPC endpoint. For testing purposes on mainnet, this is fine, but probably don't want to use that in production. Okay, anyway, so this is for the clusters. I get it. Error connecting to cluster mainnet. It doesn't like that. Okay, fine, let's connect to DevNet then. Local DevNet. This is cool that I can change it up here then as well. If here I can add more clusters. What if I have a second DevNet? Custom DevNet. Then I have custom DevNet here. Okay. But that is of course not a URL. That's correct. Yeah. Can you like oh no. I broke it. See, I'm one of those users who will break your stuff. Because that's what I do. If the endpoint is not a URL, which it must be, then Maybe, I don't know, display a warning and don't freaking die in the runtime, because now I cannot change it anymore. I would like to go to my clusters and delete it, but I can't because the thing I put in is invalid and the runtime freaking dies on me. Oh, come on. No! oh, I'm lost. Okay. Oh no, I can't do anything anymore. Ah. 2 minutes into working with this page and I broke it. And it's not even that. That's the thing with user testing. As a dev, you don't test the things that are, because it's obvious that an HTTP thing must be here. Nobody writes just blah into that field, right? Nobody does that. Right, B-man, right? Nobody does that, ever. And that's why we don't need to have a check here on if that is a valid URI. We don't. No, we don't. We just, I mean, this is fine. This is safe. This is the runtime. The page will crash anyway if it's wrong, right? Okay. Feedback number 1. Maybe do a try catch here on this, because literally it's broken now. And I can't. Where is that even stored? Now I need to find that out. I mean, I could just delete it, right? I could just wipe it again. But if I were to do a fix for that, I would probably do it here. I don't know that too well, but something like try. And if that doesn't work, some kind of warning. You can definitely do better than that. And then obviously we just set it if it works. And you can also do better than that. I'm just doing this quick and dirty here. So add proper cluster sanity check instead of this. But if we do it like that, then hopefully, and I hope that if I restart it, it deletes my clusters again. Yes, no. Where does it set the cluster? So to get around this, on click set cluster item. So really what we need is the set cluster. Take the first one. Wait, the first one is my custom one. Let's take the second one. Do that. So we manually set the clusters to something else, like devnet. Thank you. Such that I don't get that warning. Such that I can go here to my actual clusters and can bin this blah cluster. Did that work? This is feels a bit unstable, must admit. Page unresponsive. Maybe I'm constantly setting the cluster or something. So let's remove that again. Maybe I fall into a kind of a weird recursion with it. Reload. There we go. Okay, now we're back to my 4 with the local. We can't connect to local because, yeah, okay, that makes sense because I don't have a local one running. But we're now on devnet. And now, if I add a cluster, my custom devnet, and I'm stupid enough to type blah here, and I save that, then it isn't being added. I mean, granted, I could do a better job in, displaying that it's not added and stuff, but the console tells me this is an invalid cluster URL, because blah is not a goddamn cluster URL. Only if I put something actual proper here can I save it to my custom. See, that's just a simple check that you could add, just so you don't break the site right in the beginning. Okay, good. So that's the thing number 1 that I would totally make a pull request on if I knew how to properly check for nice URLs and display warnings. But you know your framework better, so I'll let you do that. You got this. I'm just a user tester. I'm not a dev. I'm just a tester. I want to concentrate on finding the bugs and not actually fixing the bugs for once. Thank you. Okay, so that's number 1. What else can I find? What else can I break around here? So I guess this is pretty self-explanatory what it does, though. You can add custom endpoints like RPC connections, and then they also show up in here and you can change them. Okay, amazing. That's clusters. What's counter? That's probably something related to my app. So let's connect a wallet. Do I have a wallet? Give me one that starts with Andy. Andy 6. Ba, 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 ba. Oh. Well, I tried. But we have a wallet. And if I connect to that site, you're connected to DevNet, but your account is not found on this cluster. I would love to get an airdrop. Yes, please. That's actually nice that they have that up here. If I click request airdrop, does that do anything? Internal error. I guess it's the classic, I can't get an airdrop. Yeah. Yeah, it's doing it's trying to do something, but then too many requests even. Wait 24 hours for refill. You have requested too many airdrops. Of course I have. I constantly request airdrops. Anyhow, so counter. You can create a new counter by create. Okay, so that's interacting with the program already. Maybe let's go to accounts. Let's see what's here. So we have no sol because we can't get an airdrop. We can send, receive. So that seems to be like a wallet. So that account is like our system program account, the wallet account, like the account we have connected. Because, you know, my wallet holds several accounts and one of them is connected. This is this one, the Andy is good. Andy is good. Nah? Yeah, Andy is good. That makes perfect sense. So I can request an airdrop of maybe 0.0. I can't put point. I can't put points here. I can put -1, 0, or 1. Let's request 1. That's probably... Oh! Woohoo! We got 1 sol! See, that... I don't know. It's weird, but yeah. We got 1 sol! Yeah, on DevNet. Woo! Okay, so that's... You got what the account is. That's the wallet we have connected. Okay. So here, basically, we have a display for our wallet. Or we get a transaction history, and we can send and receive. Receive basically just prints my public key. Cool. And send, we can send around. Please tell me I can put a point here. No. This is the most horrible UX for sending. Okay. Request for change number 2. Please make this possible to at least do tenths of sol. Like, I want to be able to send 0.1 sol because I can literally not send 1 sol. Why not? Because I need a transaction fee of 0.000005 sol. So I cannot send 1 entire sol. I don't have that much. And 2 sol I don't have. What is this? On the other hand, you don't really need this because I can, of course, send around my sol in my wallet here, where I can specify amount that is smaller than 1. So I should not need this, but the fact that it exists makes me want to be able to use it properly. Thus, can I please have a proper counter here? Like not integers. If you make it integers, please make it lamperts and not sol. But 1, if I say 1 now here, okay. To a destination, where do we send to? Might as well send to myself. Send. And then it tells me I don't have enough sol. Of course I don't. Ignore warning. Confirm. Do I now get a failed transaction at least? Pending app interaction. Nope. But, oh, if I click there, it goes to the Explorer. Oh, that's nice. Nope, still have 1 full sol. Probably the RPC then rejected it because it knew it wouldn't go through. So okay, so this is a useless feature. Should we fix it? Should we try to fix it? Where would that be? Just to get to know this thing a bit. That would probably be in account, get token account. Oh, it even queries the token accounts and get balance. And request airdrop is in here. Transfer sol. Yeah, that's the component. Okay, wait, let's go from the UI. So from here, from the app, at address. Oh, that's cool. Hold on. Yeah, so it says account and then address. Oh, that's interesting. If I click here, it makes the one that I have connected, but I can look at any kind of account. For instance, the faucet for the DevNet thing. I can put that up here and I can also check that out. Oh, look at that rich address. I cannot send because I'm not connected, but I could send too. So this wallet could receive and it shows, oh, it has token accounts as well. That's how we would see the token account. That's how we see the token accounts. And that's the transaction history. Can you maybe not knock on the walls while I'm making a video? The answer is no. Okay, we just continue. You just gotta deal with the knocking noise in the background. The microphone is good enough that it will not pick it up too badly. Right, microphone? Well, can't afford my own house. I could if I had that many Sol in real life on mainnet, which I don't. Not my address and not on mainnet. Moving on to how would we fix this. So going back to my account that has 1 Sol, if I wanted to send something else, we were at, so yeah, the address, you know, that's the path. It's /account/address, because that's how Next works. And then the page is an account detail feature. And the account detail feature looks like this. Account buttons for that address. Account buttons. Airdrop, receive, send, show send model, needs to have a wallet connected, and then hide destination and amount. So, okay, we have an input for type is a number and amount. I would add something like this, maybe. Nope, still doesn't work. Oh, are you kidding me? Is that the problem that I had? Hold on. Remove that again. I can do 0, comma. Ah, okay, it uses comma. That's probably a weird localization issue that I'm having here. So I can send 0.123 to fund the faucet. Yeah, that would work. But I have to put comma. Oh, weird. Here it displays it with a dot. That's so weird though. Probably somewhere in my browser settings or somewhere it thinks, because I'm in Germany, which I'm not, I'm in Austria, because I'm in Austria, they use the comma for the point, which got me confused because everything else is English. So yeah, there seems to be some kind of localization issue here. Probably if you use that on a different browser with a different, actually, also in Chrome it has the comma and not the point. Maybe it's still my setting, like my global setting. But I mean, I have my computer in English, so I don't know. How is that for you? Do you use points here? If that's for everyone, that comma, then I think it's weird. It should be point, but it could just be a really weird localization thing. And point is that I got confused when using this, and your users might too. I just don't know how to fix it. Yeah, I always want the point. I always want the point in that input. Maybe I can force you language English. Still comma. I mean, it is definitely the field I'm working on, but this also didn't work. Yeah, so I don't want to spend too much time on this. I can't really fix it. This doesn't seem to do anything. I can't dot. But yeah, might be worth looking into if any Next and HTML5 experts are here. You might find a fix on this. Again, I'm not a front-end dev. I would like to have a point here instead of that comma, because the comma confused me, because it made me think that I can't do less than a sol, or that I can just do full values. Yeah. Anyway, that's my improvement suggestion number 2. Let's look what else we have here. Just clicking around a bit. This seems to be working. 0.123 sol, so that worked. Maybe want to add priority fees, but that's like a nice to have. We might need it at some point. But yeah, we still have the wallets to do that stuff. So actually not having priority fees on default is great. So what else? Let's go to the counter example then. And therefore, we probably first want to look at the program in Anchor. To the Anchor stuff. Here we have the program. Let's look at that real quick. It's got an account struct which holds a counter value, which is a U8, and we can update it, close it, initialize it. So initialize it, increment, decrement, and close it. Oh, and set a value as well. Cool. And then here we just have an interface for getting the program ID, and it's all the same. So there's nothing really more interesting in here, just the program and the IDL. That might also be, helpful. Is that actually then used in our web app? Counter has this counter feature, and this counter feature, you can create a new counter by clicking create. The wallet button in case we don't have a public key. Okay, so yeah, that's the create, and then we have the counters. So let's see if we can create a new one here on that one on DevNet. Yeah, I mean, we found an account, that makes sense. View transaction gets us where? Here we see the 8RCH Wutk is our account with this counter program. So that's that public key for that deployed program. And hopefully if we refresh this page, yes, we now have the 8RCH Wutk counter here, and we can increment it, which is a transaction. That's so red always. It's like, but yeah, there is no asset ownership. That's true. And there shouldn't be one. We just pay for a transaction and boom, it's 1. Nice. And then we decrement again and boom, it's 0. And now if we decrement again, that should not work, or even the simulation already fails. Program failed to complete. And even if I confirm that, it shouldn't, go to 255 because they are using this safe checked sub. So it's checking that it doesn't have an underflow here. But while we're here, let's learn something about Anchor. Since I can't deploy this there, I shall go to localnet and work locally and deploy it locally. So to local we go. First of all, Solana test validator. We can now Solana config set go to local and airdrop ourselves 5 sol there, because there it definitely works. And then here I can switch to local and check that I have 5 sol. Nice. So that seems to be working quite neatly. We don't have any counters, and probably, oh, and the program is also not found. So let's deploy this program on this cluster. Probably want a new program authority, key pair, pay, and Solana airdrop a few, because we're in local, I can afford it. Now, probably in the Anchor toml, I should specify what wallet I want to use. And then Anchor build, that's downloading all the crates. Okay. Counter SO. What happens if I anchor deploy without telling it where to? Okay, my bad. And it's now deploying to this address. Don't ask me where it has this address stored. I mean, once it's deployed, it doesn't really matter anymore, because we can throw the key pair away again, because we can't redeploy it to that address anymore anyway. But if we wanted to deploy it somewhere else on a different cluster at the same address, then it might be relevant. Anyway, we just stay with a 4i2. And then we also need to put that here. And then we probably also need to put that here. And then anchor build again, and then anchor deploy again. Okay. Now it should be properly deployed. Now let's see if you find that program account. Let's refresh here. You do not, because you're still looking for this one. Obviously, because we still tell you to look for this one. Where did we have that? In counter exports. In source. Oh, that was in the Anchor still. Yeah, there was the source. That was not in the web part, but in that. Okay. So in here, we now also need to put our program ID, of course, and also down here, probably. And then we save that. Oh yeah, now that side so the reference to this Anchor source is here. I don't know how, but it's here. Okay, and now it found that thing, but it says no counters because we didn't create an account yet. So let's create a counter account. A counter account, transaction expired. Why? Because we're on the wrong developer settings, Solana DevNet, Solana LocalNet. Yay. Okay, and now, there we go. Confirm. And we have a counter, AMI. And we can increment it. Wow, why does that take longer on localnet than it does on devnet? That's weird. And we can decrement it. Wow, that's really taking long. Wait, just for my own entertainment. Don't. Oh. Solflare. Can I have a custom network, please? Solflare is worse than Phantom? I did not expect that. To be honest, did not expect that I cannot add localnet. Cool, so I don't do a comparison. If I can't do that with Solflare, whoa, okay. Anyway, so if I now decrement that, or attempt to, then we should see the same thing as we did on DevNet, that this is not possible. Right? Yes. Okay, I'll confirm that. If I set the value to 255, that works, and then I increment. Even on localhost, you should do a simulation, Phantom. You do a simulation. But you don't see that we're failing? I confirm it, but you don't update. But yeah, so we see that that's not working. Just for fun, let's go to our anchor program and do it worse. Let's not do a checked sub, but just do a -1. And here a +1. Could write plus equals, but you know, you get the idea. And then again, we build and deploy. Is it now vulnerable to overflow? And I'm going to ignore what Phantom tells me because it already told me that that should be possible. I'm going to sign that transaction as soon as it gives it to me. Sign it. Transaction simulation failed. Error processing instruction 2. Attempt and add with overflow. Okay. So we still protect against that. So the current anchor version still protects against that. Whatever anchor version I'm running. Just for fun, if I were to say, hey, I want the newest anchor version, then I anchor build. Did that change anything? Probably not. Gone. Attempt to add with overflow. Features, overflow checks. Maybe this cargo toml, not this cargo toml. Because there are two. Oh, see, if I do it here, then it's reinstalling stuff, a lot of stuff. So it looks like this is where I need to put it for it to have an effect. Okay, now it's gonna get interesting for one more time. If I now increment, please let my transaction go through now. No, also not. Even now the transaction simulation failed with an attempt to add with overflow. So not even that really helps to let me do stupid stuff like that. Anchor is just too safe. Anyway, that was a rabbit hole. Back to analyzing this thing. So yeah, we can work with our program and it's pretty simple to integrate. Like there's a really good connection between the anchor part and the web part. And that is done here in the counter through this feature, through the use counter program, which connects get program ID for cluster, and that it gets literally from the anchor directly. So going back here, this is imported from my project anchor. That's how the import is done. And we're in my project web. So my project anchor, here we export those things in anchor source. We export the counter program ID and the get counter program ID. That's what we export here, such that we can import it in the web. And that's, I think, all the interface there is really. And that program, it probably builds from the IDL. Yeah, the counter IDL, which it gets also from here. So we export the entire IDL in types. So that's anchor source target types. That's pretty cool. And I can just import that. Here we export it. We export the counter that we here import from the target types counter. And that we re-export as counter IDL types, and the IDL we both export again here, such that we can then have it in the data access here at the add my project. I've also never seen that before, that you can just say add my project / anchor. But yeah, I mean, that works. Pretty cool. So yeah, these two files are important. This is the exporting part, the counter exports, where we put all the stuff that our front end wants to use. So all the functions and static variables and the IDL we export here. It doesn't need to be all in that file, obviously. We can load it from some other file and then just export it here. But yeah, it needs to be exported somewhere in the source, such that we can then import it here through the My Project handle. That's pretty cool. So that's that connection. Pretty nice. And it's both in this My Project folder. So I have the web part and the anchor part both in one place, which is super handy, because I used to always have like different thing, and then if I change something I need to copy the IDL over or something else. Doesn't work. So that's pretty cool to have that. What else might be important to say here? I want to break something else. I want to have at least one, but it's pretty like neatly set up. I can say that much. Oh, we didn't even look at the API. Hello from the API. We can also, you know, hit get requests on API/hello. Then we get the JSON. So this is now a JSON body. Can inspect that. The hello. It gives me an OK response. Okay, this is just text, not even JSON. That as text. Yep, it's not JSON, it's just text. So that's how we can then also do the API. There's nothing much in the default here. If you want your own stuff, you gotta just add it. But they're in the scaffold. They have one page, this hello thing. So if your site wants to serve post or get requests or anything more fancy, you can do that here as well, and then serve it through /API/whatever. Okay, I want to find one last thing. So the connection here, pretty neat. Can include our own program, add that to the front end. We have pretty much a wallet here. We see our transactions. I mean, what else do we need? Maybe let's try add one more thing up here, how easy that is. Because I want my own page now. How quickly can I add my own component? The web app. The dashboard is the GM part. And if we just go to page, then we go to the GM part. Okay, so that's when the path, when there's nothing. Then we go to the GM part. It's a dashboard. There we go. In the UI layout. Oh, you gotta find that. UI layout. That is where we define the pages. So I can just add another one and this stuff. And then go /Andy or something. Then I should see Andy's stuff up here. Of course, that page goes nowhere yet. So we gotta add that. Now we go to a page in the app called Andy. So I would have to do a new folder here, Andy, and add a page, Andy feature, which I would probably make a component. So in components, also add a folder, Andy. I'd add an Andy feature. This is Andy's stuff. And this Andy feature, I import here, and then I should have this is Andy's stuff here. So of course here I can then put, you know, whatever I want, but that's how easy it is to add another page here. That worked in like, I don't know, 3 minutes. And you know, I could get myself another button that does stuff in a program or something. Yeah, I mean, no, overall, I don't find anything anymore that I can criticize or that I find weird or odd or too much. Like, because in the old scaffold, there was like this huge footer as well. Here, there's just this generated by create-solana-dapp. And maybe let's also find that thing. Seems to be also in the layout. Here in this footer, generated by, let's lie. And then we see it's generated by Andy himself, which is not particularly true. So let's get rid of that footer. And then the page looks, well, actually not as nice anymore. I would like something here. But we have more space. Yeah, so we see where that is, and it's pretty easy to find. Like, is it that easy to find UI? I mean, all the UI stuff is in UI, and it's just one file. So, I mean, it's kind of nice. I kind of actually like it. So if I wanted to, for instance, change the logo here, that's also in this UI with the Solana logo PNG. I could change it to a Solandy logo PNG, but then I of course need a Solandy logo in public, and voila, it's broken. But now Solandy, there we go. That's how easy it would be to fix that stuff, because it's all easy to find. Like, it's all as you got used to from a normal Next.js app. It's all in this UI file, which is pretty small as well, right? It's not like pumped with like a bunch of stuff. I mean, yes, it's not the smallest file, but I mean, less than 200 lines, okay? And it's super easy to add your own stuff here. Just add this one line and bam, you got the next page. Change for the logo if you want, remove the footer if you want, or put something else there. So yeah, I mean, can recommend this scaffold. Can actually recommend it. It's like, it's pretty neat. If you need a quick web page, maybe even with a Solana program, go there. And I think I want to end it here, because really all I wanted to do is have a quick look at this, because Nick told me I should really have a look at this. So here I am having a look at this. And I wanted to tell you that this exists. This has been built. There is a new version of the Solana Dapp Scaffold, and you can use it anytime for your app free of charge, because it's open source, I think. Is it? MIT license, fully open source. So yeah, go ahead, play around with it a bit. If you have any feedback for them, like if there's something that you find odd, or bugs that you find, or something that just doesn't work, which would be a bug, let Nick or B-Man know and they'll fix it, because they've specifically requested that we have a look at it. So yeah, I mean, as I said, it's pretty nice, and it connects with the programs really easily. I like to click Solandy, 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 Solandy. And you might see me use this again, because it is such a simple thing to just set up. It's really quick, and you get a program and front end, and then you can play around with it, which is super helpful. Probably we'll do this in the future again, and then actually, you know, deploy a program. I think it was a good video. I mean, 3 hours of playing around with this. I'm happy. Like, there's nothing where I'm like, oh, this is odd, I wouldn't use that. Like, I think it's nice. It's better than the old one. The most interesting part really is probably the counter example. Oh, it always has a counter UI. Here it imports the UI from counter create and counter list. Ah, and those are just two, counter create and counter list, that it just takes from the UI. I mean, I'm interested where the transaction building is happening. We map to a counter card. And then in the counter card, that's also in UI, the increment, and then on click, decrement. What are those things? They are use counter program account. I mean, I kind of gotta get used to those. So that's again in the data access then, where we have those mutations for the increment, for instance, and the function for the actual mutation. Oh, that's where it is. There we have the program methods increment. So that's where the transaction is actually built. So the RPC is called, and that's the function. So that's a callback essentially. And then on success, we get the transaction back from this mutation function. And on success, we set this toast and refetch the account. That's how it works. So it uses this use mutation to do all of those things. And obviously those mutation functions could be more complicated if you want to do some more complicated things, but we have such simple things that we're fine with, like this one line here. Yeah, and the program, it gets from the use counter program. And here it builds everything. It gets the connection, the cluster from the settings that we have, the anchor provider, and that we've also seen. Get the program ID, that is then from the my project. Now it all ties together, and then we build ourselves this program as we're used with a standard anchor front end, and that program is then used in all of the query functions to get the accounts, and then the mutation functions to mutate stuff, like here initialize, close, and decrement, and so on. So basically for your program, you would build something similar to that. Basically, you can copy paste that, right? And change the little bit that you want to change. So yeah, I think that's a pretty cool setup for your Solana application that contains some front end and some Anchor on-chain part. I'm pretty happy with that. Yeah, I actually enjoy this. And as we said in the beginning, I'm not super enthusiastic. I'm not like, whoa, this is the best thing ever. It's slightly better than the previous Dapp Scaffold because it includes the programs as well now. It's all in one place, not just the front end stuff. And it's much cleaner than the previous Scaffold. So I like it better than the previous Scaffold. And it's nothing that throws me out of my chair where I'm like, whoa, wow, I've never seen that before. Although I haven't seen some of the things before, but that's just because I'm not a front-end dev and I never work with Next. But yeah, overall, I just found those two UI things that are like, okay, could improve that. But otherwise, great job, Beeman and Nick, you got this. You're building something nice here. And I hope that this video is still helpful to you. It's just a Solandy approves kind of a video. It's yeah, would recommend to use this scaffold. And with that, I shall leave you. Go check out some other videos. Subscribe if you haven't already. Like this video if you like it. If you don't, you know, whatever. Then you probably don't watch until the end, which you do. So thank you very much for that. Can I give you a gift for staying until the end? Some DevNet No, I don't know. What can I give you? Some bonk. Do you want one bonk? My gratitude, is that enough as a gift? No? What else can I give? I just ordered a saga. I could do a raffle for a saga. No, let's not do giveaways. People don't like me doing giveaways anymore, I think. Because last time I almost wallet drained them. With a similar thing where I had Solandy here. So yeah, so for my wallet drainer, I also used the previous scaffold. And if I would build a wallet drainer again, I would use this scaffold again. See, wallet drainers get me excited again. Maybe I should build another wallet drainer. So here's my gift. Solandy really likes to build wallet drainers, so be careful. Ow, that's a great gift. Knowledge. Stay safe out there. Yeah, we hit 3 hours in recording time. It's enough. It's enough for a review. I have nothing more to complain about. Pretty easy to work with. Solandy approved. See you in my next review video.